You're being robbed. Right now, as you watch this. And the worst part? It's completely legal. In fact, it's so brilliantly designed that most people thank the system that's stealing from them. The UK is experiencing the greatest transfer of wealth in modern history. And if you're earning between £30,000 and £80,000 a year, you're the target. Not the ultra-rich with their offshore accounts. Not the corporations with their tax havens, you. The person who goes to work, pays their taxes, and thinks they're building a future. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how 15% of your wealth is disappearing every single year without you even noticing. I'll expose the 3 government mechanisms that are designed to drain middle-class savings while making it look like economic policy. And most importantly, I'll reveal the exact protection strategy that financial institutions desperately don't want you to understand. Because once you see how this works, you can't unsee it. Like and subscribe to Economy Reporter to stay ahead of the latest UK economic news that actually affects your wallet. But before we dive into the protection strategies, you need to understand the trap that's already been set. And it starts with a lie so big that even the people telling it believe it's true. The Office for National Statistics says inflation is at 2.1%. Your savings account offers 1.5% if you're lucky. The math seems simple. You're losing 0.5% per year to inflation. Annoying, but manageable, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. Because that 2.1% figure is fantasy. It's calculated using a basket of goods that hasn't reflected real life since the 1980s. When was the last time you bought a new television? Probably years ago, but TVs getting cheaper brings down the inflation figure. Meanwhile, your energy bill has doubled. Your weekly food shop has gone from £60 to £90. Your council tax keeps climbing. Train fares, insurance, everything that actually drains your bank account every month is rising at 8, 10, 12%. But they're weighted differently in the calculation. The real inflation rate for someone living a normal British life isn't 2%. Independent analysis from investment firms shows it's closer to 8% for essentials. And that's where the theft begins. Think about what that means for your savings. You've got £20,000 sitting in your high street bank. The bank gives you 1.5% interest. That's £300 a year. But with real inflation at 8%, your money needs to grow by £1,600 just to maintain the same purchasing power. You're not earning £300, you're losing £1,300 every year on just £20,000. Scale that up to a lifetime of savings, pensions and investments, and you're watching hundreds of thousands of pounds evaporate. Not through bad decisions, not through risky investments, through doing exactly what you were told was responsible. And the banks know this. They're not stupid. They're borrowing from the Bank of England at 5.25% and lending it out at 23% on credit cards. They're making record profits while your savings decay. But here's where it gets really sinister. The government isn't just letting this happen. They're orchestrating it. And they're doing it through something called fiscal drag. It sounds boring, and that's exactly the point. Fiscal drag is when tax thresholds don't move with inflation. The personal allowance has been frozen at £12,570 since 2021. The higher rate threshold frozen at £50,270. But wages are rising with inflation, aren't they? So every year, more of your income creeps into higher tax brackets without you actually earning more in real terms. The Institute for Fiscal Studies calculated that by 2028, this stealth tax will pull an extra 4 million people into higher tax bands. That's 4 million people paying 40% tax who never thought they'd be higher rate taxpayers. Teachers, nurses, police officers suddenly labelled as high earners because the government refused to move a line on a spreadsheet. And it's not an accident. It's not incompetence. It's the only way the Treasury can balance the books without announcing tax rises that would cause riots. They're betting you won't notice, that you'll blame inflation or your employer or bad luck. Anything but the system that's been carefully designed to extract maximum value from the middle class while leaving the truly wealthy untouched. Because here's what they don't tell you. The rich don't keep their wealth in savings accounts. They don't earn most of their income through PAYE. They use structures, strategies and systems that make them immune to fiscal drag and inflation. And that's what makes this so insulting. But fiscal drag is just one tentacle of this wealth extraction machine. The property market, the one asset class British people trust above all others, has been weaponized against you too. For decades, we've been told property is the ultimate investment. Bricks and mortar, safe as houses. Your parents probably made more from their house than from their entire career. So you stretch yourself to get on the ladder. You take out a mortgage at 95% loan to value. You're paying 5, maybe 6% interest, and you think you're building wealth. But let's do the real math that estate agents won't show you. You buy a £300,000 house with a £15,000 deposit. Your mortgage is £285,000. At 5.5% over 25 years, you'll pay back £470,000. That's £185,000 in interest alone. Your £300,000 house actually costs you £485,000. But surely the house will go up in value, right? House prices always rise. Except they don't. Not in real terms. Strip out inflation over 25 years, and the average UK house has barely moved in genuine purchasing power. You're not getting rich. You're just watching numbers get bigger while everything else gets more expensive at the same rate. Meanwhile, you're paying council tax, maintenance, insurance, and repairs. The true cost of ownership adds another 2 to 3% annually. Factor that in, and most homeowners are barely breaking even. They just don't realise it because they never do the full calculation. And here's the part that should terrify you. Foreign investment in UK property hit $49 billion last year. Middle Eastern sovereign wealth funds, Chinese corporations, Russian oligarchs who somehow still find ways around sanctions. They're not buying these properties to live in. They're buying them as storage vaults for wealth, safety deposit boxes with postcodes. In prime London areas, 60% of new builds are sold to overseas investors before British buyers even get a viewing. These properties sit empty while local families are priced out. It's created a two-tier market. Investment properties that exist purely as financial instruments and actual homes that real people need to live in. Guess which category you're competing in? And guess which one the government prioritises with its policies. But even that's not the worst part. The Bank of England is quietly building something that will make everything I've just described look like a gentle warm-up. They call it the digital pound. Sounds modern, efficient, convenient. What it really is, total control. Programmable money that can be restricted, expired, or redirected based on government policy. And before you call this a conspiracy theory, let me be clear. This isn't speculation. The Bank of England has published papers. They've run consultations. They're building the infrastructure right now. The target launch is 2025 to 2028. They say it's about modernisation, financial inclusion, reducing crime, all noble goals that nobody can argue against. But look at what's already happened in China with their digital yuan. Money that expires if you don't spend it fast enough. Purchases blocked if your social credit score drops. Geographic restrictions on where your money works. The UK government says they'd never do that, but they also said they'd never lock down the country, never print hundreds of billions of pounds, never freeze tax thresholds for 7 years. The infrastructure for control is being built. Whether they use it or not becomes a political decision. And political decisions change with governments. Do you really want your money to exist only as computer code that can be edited, restricted, or deleted by whoever happens to be in number 10? This isn't about being paranoid. It's about recognizing that every financial crisis leads to more control, not less. And they're building the ultimate control system while telling you it's for your convenience. But here's what the doomsday preppers and gold bugs get wrong. You can't fight this system by dropping out of it. You can't win by burying cash in your garden or buying cryptocurrency you don't understand. The solution isn't to run from the system. It's to use the same tools and strategies that the wealthy have been using all along. They're hidden in plain sight, completely legal, and available to anyone who knows where to look. The first pillar is something called ISA maximization, but not the way your high street bank suggests. They'll push you toward their cash ISA paying 1.5%. Might as well set your money on fire. Instead, you need a stocks and shares ISA. But here's the crucial part. You don't pick stocks, you don't try to beat the market, you buy global index funds that track everything. The FTSE All-World Index has averaged 8.7% annually over the last 30 years. After fees, you're looking at 8%. That matches real inflation. But here's the move nobody talks about. You can transfer old ISAs from previous years into better performing ones without losing your tax-free status. Most people have dormant ISAs from years ago earning nothing. Transfer them, consolidate them, get them working. You can move $20,000 per year into ISAs. That's $40,000 for a couple. After 10 years, that's $400,000 growing tax-free. The compound effect means you could have $700,000 after 20 years. Complete protection from capital gains tax, dividend tax, and income tax. It's literally the only remaining tax shelter the government hasn't destroyed. Yet. The second pillar involves premium bonds, but not for the reason you think. Everyone knows premium bonds. The government savings product your nan loves. £1 minimum, $50,000 maximum. Instead of interest, you get entered into monthly prize draws. Most people dismiss them because the effective return is only about 4.4%. But they're missing the genius part. Premium bonds aren't investments. They're financial camouflage. That $50,000 doesn't show up on means testing for benefits. It doesn't count toward your estate for care home fees. It's instantly accessible without penalties. And here's the kicker. It's the only financial product where the government guarantees your capital while giving you complete privacy from other government departments. It's paradoxical, but that's exactly why it works. The third pillar is understanding offshore investing without becoming a criminal. The media has poisoned this term. Offshore equals tax dodger in most people's minds. But having investments outside the UK is perfectly legal and increasingly necessary. You can open investment accounts in Ireland, Luxembourg, or the Channel Islands as a UK resident. These aren't tax havens. You still declare everything to HMRC. You still pay UK tax. But your wealth exists outside the reach of future UK policy changes. Capital controls, wealth taxes, or currency devaluations can't touch money that's already denominated in euros or dollars sitting in Dublin or Jersey. And before you say that's only for millionaires, you can open an Irish investment account with €5,000, a Channel Islands account with £10,000. This isn't about avoiding tax, it's about avoiding political risk. Now here's where timing becomes everything. The window for protecting your wealth isn't infinite. It's closing, and it's closing fast. The next budget is in March 2026. Every economic indicator suggests it will include new wealth taxes, expanded inheritance tax, and possible ISA restrictions. The Bank of England's digital pound trials start in 2027. Once that infrastructure is live, moving money becomes trackable in ways that don't exist today. Interest rates are predicted to stay elevated until at least 2028. That means mortgage stress, property price stagnation, and continued inflation. The demographic cliff hits in 2029 when the largest cohort of baby boomers reaches pension age, crushing public finances. By 2030, the UK will be a fundamentally different financial landscape. The protective strategies available today won't exist. The window is 5 years at most, probably 3, maybe less. But knowing this information means nothing if you don't act on it. Most people will watch this video, nod along, maybe even share it with friends. Then they'll go back to their 1.5% savings account and hope things get better. They won't. Hope isn't a financial strategy. Neither is anger or despair or waiting for political change. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed, just not for you. Unless you decide to change that. Right now, today, this week, open the ISA, research the funds, make the transfers, set up the standing orders, look into premium bonds for your emergency fund. Research international investment platforms. Start small if you need to, but start. Because here's the brutal truth about wealth protection. It's not about being rich, it's about not becoming poor. And in a system designed to gradually impoverish the middle class, standing still is moving backward. The inflation theft continues every single day. Fiscal drag tightens with every pay rise. The property ladder pulls up while you're still climbing. The only question is whether you'll be a victim or an exception. The wealthy aren't smarter than you. They just understand the game being played. Now you do too. The question is what you're going to do about it. Because knowing how you're being robbed is only useful if you stop standing still while it happens. Every month you delay costs you money you'll never get back. Compound interest works both ways, either for you or against you. There's no neutral, no pause button, no time out while you think about it. Your wealth is either growing or shrinking. Right now, today, this minute. And if you've made it this far into this video, you already know which direction yours is going. The solutions exist, the strategies are legal, the window is open, but not for long. The UK economy is entering a phase where traditional financial advice isn't just outdated, it's dangerous. The rules your parents lived by don't apply anymore. Save money, buy a house, trust the system. That worked in an era of growth. We're not in that era anymore. We're in the era of extraction, where growth is replaced by redistribution, where inflation is policy, not problem, where the middle class is mined for revenue, like a depleting resource. But you don't have to be part of that resource. You can be one of the people who sees it coming and steps aside, who uses the system's own tools to build immunity from its exploitation, who realizes that in a game rigged against you, the only winning move is to play a different game entirely. The information is here, the strategies are clear, the choice is yours. Remember, nobody is coming to save you. The government needs your money too badly. The banks profit from your ignorance. Your employer just wants you to show up. The only person who can protect your financial future is you. And you've just spent 20 minutes learning exactly how to do it. The rest is execution. The clock is ticking. The window is closing. And every day you wait is another day the system wins. Don't let it. Take control. Take action. Take back your future. Because if you don't, someone else will take it from you. And they already have the plan to do exactly that. Like and subscribe to Economy Reporter for more UK economic truth that mainstream media won't tell you. The financial establishment doesn't want you educated. They want you compliant. We're here to make sure you're neither. Your wealth, your future, your choice. Choose wisely, choose quickly, choose now.